Hello and welcome. Today we're playing Don't Eat the Cashier. That's really cool. I wanted to check it out, so yeah, we're doing that. Start. She, her. And they're so cute, both of them. 2. Body type 2. My name? Oh wait, let me move my mic a little up so I don't smack my mic. Soggy. Your name is Soggy. Sometimes I really wonder, how did I end up here? Not that I dreamed of a career as a neurosurgeon or an astronaut, but for crying out loud, working at a gas station, on the other hand, money is money. Yeah. What's the big deal? What? Yeah, money's money, dude. I sent out resumes to every conceivable and inconceivable place, applying for every position where I could somehow use my degree in art. Oh, it's a tough time right now. So, 0 responses. Yeah. That adds up. I had to swallow my pride and find at least something. Human organism wanted for work at a gas station. Organism's duties include selling food for a mouth, silence and obedience, household tasks, obeying those who are more ancient, friendly team offers, new and old faces of friends, long and different life, consumption of nourishment, juicy juices, trips to human places. Nice. I found this note stuck to the glass of the bus stop. Food for mouth. Seriously? The guy's got a style of his own. Apparently the manager is just an eccentric dude, or is this their new marketing tactic to grab attention? Whatever. People often told me that I have my quirks too, and even if they haven't seen my fursuit. What? Well, whatever, as long as he's not a complete jerk who'll hit me or make me scrub the floors with a toothbrush. Oh, he's just some type of god, I guess. Also, is that the meme? Maybe I can move myself down here. No, maybe here. I don't want to block anything. Yeah, that's a big eyeball. It's a Mike Wazowski. I didn't scream. I couldn't move. My brain feverishly tried to find any category for this in its database. Hallucination, psychosis, too many energy drinks. A typical middle manager. The monster from my nightmares stirred. Its tentacles crept closer to the counter. My God. The creature made a sound, not from a mouth. It had none. The sound emanated from deep within its bulk, hollow, profound bone shaking. Greetings, organism. I am Bob, the indescribable and terrifying consumer of worlds, but you, grain of sand, may call me Manager Bob. No, this isn't real. I'm dreaming. I need to wake up. You will sell food for mouths and obey me, for I am ancient. Memorize the rules of this establishment, for my patience is as limited as the salary I offer you. Is he handing me a thing? Rule number 1, you sell no matter what. Chicken food for the mouth, gremlin fuel, noodles made from cursed souls. Lottery tickets for extra limb, raffles, discount rot, ritual foil, everything must be sold. He points directly at me with that creepy, slimy tentacle. It has an eyeball on it. Every miserable unit of currency brings me closer to my triumphant exit from this pitiful hole. I pinched myself, but didn't wake up. Rule number 2, be polite to customers, ignore bald spots and werewolf fur, and watch out for drafts when ectoplasmic energetic entities are in the store. What? But don't let them get too bold. Customers are just walking containers for currency. They should only pay in monetary units. Payment is existential dread or... What? Payment in existential dread or hair of the dead is not accepted. Many of them come here just to chat because they are idle and purposeless organisms. Your task is to make them part with their currency anyway. It's also your duty to heal organisms if they are injured using special kits. If they die, they can't give away currency. Okay. What? This is a real response, but let's pretend we're not scared by this so we can live. Excuse me, sir. You seem to have mentioned werewolf. Excuse me, sir. You seem to have mentioned werewolves and ectoplasm. My voice is as polite as possible. I managed to compress my primal screaming panic into a tight ball and shove it down, deep down. Werewolves. And that's not to mention that you yourself are a giant meatball with tentacles, damn you. I shall answer your question, curious polite organism. Werewolves and ectoplasmic entities are just a few examples of the many insignificant life forms that frequent this establishment. What unites them is that they are all slaves to consumption, just like your kind. As for my nature, I am your immediate supervisor and the guarantor of your future financial prosperity. I'm at a gas station for monsters. I got a job with Cthulhu for minimum wage. It is all you need to know. That is really all I need to know. I fear any more knowledge will surely drive me insane. For the first time, something resembling approval flickered across Bob's many-eyed face. A rare and unexpected display of the grains of wisdom that have not yet left the human species. Embrace your ignorance. Let it become your shield and a direct path to the status of Human Employee of the Month. Okay. And what does the Human Employee of the Month get? A cash bonus of 25 cents. I understand that you, human, are already extremely excited about this, but that's not all. You also have access to the elite manager's restroom for one full work cycle. During its use, there is only a 7% chance that you will be transported to a dimension of endless pain, suffering, and unimaginable torment. Truly generous. He suddenly places a jar in front of me on the counter. And the last rule, remember, organism, this tip container must be filled with money by the end of your wake cycle. If the bottom of the jar is visible, you will clean the sanitary rooms with this object in the dimension of absolute horrors and suffering for 2,510 years. I couldn't take my eyes off the fork, the potential tool of my eternal servitude. At this moment, my mind fully capitulated. Yes, I was hired by a multi-eyed cosmic architect squid. Yes, my clients will be non-humans. Yes, I'm being threatened with a fork and eternal toilet cleaning. How could anyone clean anything with a fork? The same will happen if you even think of escaping before the end of your work contract. My ocular sensorium perceives the subtlest of matters. It will detect you in any corner of this pitiful planetary sphere. Crap, I'm stuck here. I'm in a trap. You understand, Yes, sir. Acceptable. Goodbye, organism. Good luck in your currency acquisition and button pressing. Could you show me how exactly do I press the buttons? Yeah. You know what? I'll figure it out. Yeah, I can handle this perfectly. Adequate. Your willingness to fulfill your work duties deserves my emotional approval. Human entity, you are acceptable. If you expect a monetary reward instead of an emotional one, you need to immediately reconsider your moral compass. Greed is a highly condemned trait for a human organism. This concludes the briefing. Remain as polite an organism as you are. He didn't turn around as a human would. His tentacles simply shifted his entire mass in another direction with a soft gurgling sound. And he waddled across the linoleum. Finally, he left me alone. The silence at the gas station was broken only by the hum of refrigerators containing juicy juices and the buzzing of the neon lamp above my head. I stood in the same spot as if rooted to the ground. My breath returned to me in a sharp, uneven gasp. My hands were shaking. The tip jar, which I needed to fill to avoid ending up in a dimension of ancient horrors, still stood proudly on the counter. Okay, so what just happened? Option 1, I've gone insane. That's the most logical conclusion. Prolonged stress from job hunting, malnutrition, nerves, anxiety, a disrupted sleep schedule. My brain just malfunctioned. Yes, that's it. I'm going to wake up on my couch in my dingy rented apartment. I pinched myself again, and nothing. I scanned the room once more, smelled of gasoline and old coffee. It was still absurdly real. And that meant everything he said, it was all true. Werewolves, vampires, tips, the fork. A hysterical mix of laughter and a scream of terror welled up in my throat, but I held it back. I needed to get through this. I needed to. Oh no, don't tell me that's the first customer. Bells? What the hell? Shit. Where the hell did this clown come from? It took great effort not to look away from those red eyes burning in the pitch black darkness. Is he amused? Is he wondering if I'm tasty? Bob didn't exactly give any guarantees that I wouldn't get devoured at work. My brain, still recovering from the encounter with Bob, was frantically trying to figure out how to break this ringing silence. Okay. First save. Immediately. How do I not die here? Also, am I like 1 frame per second? Okay, so here are my options. You can't just appear with the sound of a creepy piano, sir. Okay. Is it strange that I work at a gas station for a couple bucks, yet you are the one who wears the jester's hat? That's kind of funny. I like that one. Good evening, sir. What would you like to purchase? That's too formal. Please don't eat me. I'm just a miserable, tasteless cashier. Okay, that kills us. This is too formal. This is funny. This is kind of like quirky, like, I don't know. This is kind of funny. I like this. That's quite witty. That's the first joke I've heard in this wonderful place. It wasn't disappointing. It's so amusing that I might not turn your cash register into you, and you into the cash register. Oh, like, what, you can, transform me? Okay, we made it so far. I'd also... Okay, so we have, you're not going to do what? I'd also rather not become a cash register, thank you. I still need to sell a lot of juicy juices today. Yes. Let me just use the cash register for its intended purpose. What would you like to purchase? I guess this is still kind of joking. I think this is just the Joker, so we just gotta keep throwing jokes at him. I think that's the strat. And even in the face of existential transformation, you're still talking about your duty. Duty. Your juicy, juicy duty. But have you considered the opinion of the cash register itself? You have a unique opportunity to do so. Just one word. I don't want to know what the cash register might tell me, considering everything it's seen and how sticky it is. Ew. My God, another crazy person with a strange way of speaking. And it seems he's in the mood for a chat. He also has like a lock right here. So, what's a beautiful, charming lady like you doing in such a dreadful, dirty island of misfortune? Or rather, what is a place like this doing with such a charming lady as you? Oh wait, where are my manners? I suppose I must introduce myself. I have many names, most of which are not fit to be spoken in the company of a lovely lady. The nicest I've heard is the Mad King. So you're just Joker. You're the Joker. You're the jokester. You're Joker. A title I plan to pass from me to myself for the coming centuries. Okay, so like you're forever living. I get it. You're like a vampire Joker. However, my immortal mother named me Deerin. Now, may I have your hand? Okay. This might play out in a way like, if I give him my hand, is he gonna just chop it off? He's gonna chop off my hand? Is that what's gonna happen? He suddenly bows his head and presses his lips onto my knuckles. Oh. Meeting you is truly a pleasure. His lips are cold, yet a ghostly warmth spread across my skin. So here I am, dealing with a real gentleman, how lovely, or a king as he calls himself. Of all the kings and the emperors locked in their soft chambers, this one has probably found a way to escape. May I know your name? I don't immediately realize he's asking me a question, still in a daze from that gentlemanly kiss. Oh, okay. I feel like I have to save a lot. Wait. Okay, some of these options are funny. Like, what is this? My name is Soggy, but my friends call me Big D. Or they would if I had... I saved, right? Yeah, I did. I did. I kind of want to say this. That's so funny. Big D. What a pity. The name clearly has room to grow. It lacks subjects. Okay, I think that was the wrong option here. Let's go back to... Oh, you can just hit the back button? Wait, is that a new feature? I've never seen that before. You can just hit the back button? Okay. What if I say my name is Soggy? I am also a queen, the queen of the gas station. Oh wait, you like that? That's funny. A queen, your majesty. Forgive my outrageous ignorance. I do not recognize the sovereign of this noble kingdom of oil and discounted juicy drinks. You're a queen with a wonderful sense of humor, as am I. There's nothing better for subjects than rulers who appreciate a good joke. Many believe that absolute power makes a ruler's sense of humor more sadistic, but as far as I'm concerned, they just never had a good, entertaining time impaling people. I humbly bow before you, your majesty of the midnight shift. Sorry, I didn't send envoys ahead. This is really funny. Apologies not accepted. You will have to be escorted out of the kingdom. I grant you my royal pardon. I wish to vassalize you. About our selection. I don't know what this means. What does it mean to vassalize someone? I grant you my royal pardon. A pardon from the lips of the queen herself. How my wounded soul rejoices. I am redeemed, reborn in the light of your mercy. This act of mercy will be sung by the poets of my realm, those who can still rhyme rather than just wallow in alcoholic oblivion. Oblivion. I said that right? Oblivion. You know, my company has an especially interesting effect on the artistic types, as I've discovered. Nothing surprising here. It seems I've gone mad myself, or halfway there. Maybe it happened around the time I decided to become an artist. I am indeed exchanging silly jokes with some mysterious toothy entity as if it's nothing. An entity that kisses my hand. Maybe I just adapt to this new profession really quickly. Or perhaps I had a stash of nerves of steel in the bag. I can't shake the feeling, though, that this clown is about to explode himself or blow me up. That's yeah, I don't know either. I feel like my brain is turning into jelly. Actually, it's not all that bad. And I don't understand when we'll finally get to the point. So far, it's not that bad. Let's get that tip. We need tips in this jar. So it's not that bad, okay? Like, so far, it's fine. As long as we have money in that jar. We gotta butter up these people so we don't have to be sent to the dimension where we have to clean with a fork. That's the goal here. Maybe I've just been spoiled by all those mangas about sinister and tragic monsters. Though the only tragic thing about this client so far is his tragic unwillingness to buy my discount rot. So let's finally get to the purpose of my visit. Finally. It's completely unknown to me. Oh, for crying out loud. There's nothing interesting in the assortment of this pathetic shack except for you, so I'm buying your time. Let's have dinner. I'm sure you must be hungry. Oh no. Allow me to create a more pleasant atmosphere for us. Praise the goat mother. Nice shack over here. I'm shivering from a gust of icy wind. He just teleported half of my gas station to a radioactive dump, or radioactive dump to my gas station. And the jar is gone. My freaking jar. Oh God. I feel like I'm saving a lot. Put it back the way it was in the jar. Looks like my rental apartment, but it seems to smell less now. What a wonderful place for dinner. Radioactive cockroaches on the menu. He won't like this answer, and he'll make us like be stranded here because he just teleported us here. I think either of these two options might be good. My dear, I suspected your life hasn't been easy, but was it really that bad? Don't worry, I won't abandon a lady in distress. Just say the word and I'll relocate you to one of those incredibly cozy dwellings. I'm sure the local cockroaches won't mind, and together you can fully enjoy the scent of atomic decay. However, I can't go long without familiar landscapes. Already ruined lands make me melancholic because of all the fun has happened without me. Disgusting. Allow me. This is something seemingly less radioactive. Is that an eyeball? And a cat? Is that a frog owl? This is kind of cool. Amazingly, I haven't thrown up yet. It feels like I've been flushed twice through an interdimensional toilet. I clear my throat. Seems like I'm sitting at a table. Much better, wouldn't you agree? Couldn't be better. Okay. We're already on page 2. Page 2 of the saves. It's beautiful here and strange. Is this your home? Words of a true poet, Soggy. My two favorite categories, strange and beautiful. This place is much more than a home. It's my cage and my greatest canvas for creativity. Every ugly tree, every mad toad, every eye-bearing mushroom, it's all a piece of me. A marvelous place, except when the rocks grow legs and start running. Including those that people make their homes out of. And now you're part of this place too. Isn't it wonderful? I'm slowly getting used to the landscape. The fireflies here are quite charming. But it'd be better without that frog with a human face. I disagree. I like that little guy. You watch it. You watch your mouth. He's cute. Okay? He's cute. I like this little guy. The frog notices me too. It lets out a sad croak and then looks at me with an expression of deep existential despair. Well, I will adopt him and make him happy. I'll give him the life he deserves. Points at the frog with the human face. Who is that? That's Les Lori, one of the brave souls who dared to challenge my authority. My dear friend who once walked the path of adventure. However, he didn't foresee the possibility of being turned into a frog on a whim. He even tried to wield a sword with his tiny froggy legs. Fought to the end, a true warrior. Now, however, his foes are mosquitoes and bigger frogs. Tell me, dear, does this bother you? His little existential froggy crisis, I mean. Is it ruining the ambiance? He looks at me with an interested expression. Yes, please disintegrate him. What? Excuse me? Hold on, I don't want to make a decision yet. What exactly did Lori do? Can you remove him gently? He's suffered enough. I don't mind Lori. No, I want him to watch. Yeah, can I? Okay, I saved. I just want to know more info. I want to know the lore of this toad or frog. What did this walking sack of manure do besides trying to kill me? Oh, plenty. He swung a sword blazing with righteous fury or some nonsense. He dared to come to my home, a world born of my shattered mind, and dictate what the natural order should be. Such an audacious, vile creature. He made such a repulsive noise, clanking, grumbling, shouting, praying, threatening, moralizing. The last part was the hardest to endure. But as it turns out, holiness doesn't prevent frogification or chairification. I found various uses for Lil Ray over the years of our friendship. Oh, the fall of the great Lore. The funniest Tuesday of the century. A Tuesday filled with pomp, irony, and croaking. Maybe you could break the spell. Perhaps he's learned his lesson. Alright, I guess I'd also turn someone who tried to kill me into a frog. Got it. Ha! Exactly, my dear. You see and understand. It's simple. Cause and effect. Action, reaction. He who comes to me with a sword shall leave as a frog. That's how it went, right? Oh, you truly are a kindred spirit, Soggy. I knew there was a delightful darkness behind those beautiful eyes. He looks at me with an interested expression. Okay. So now I have more info. Not this. Move him gently, he suffered enough. I don't think he liked this because he tried to kill him. It's either this or this. Maybe this? I don't mind. You don't mind? Excellent. I think he really sets the tone for the whole clearing, aesthetically. A living monument to the consequences of poor life choices. Lore, did you hear that? The lady grants you a stay of execution. You may continue your pitiful, mosquito-infested existence. So dinner, I'm sure you must be starving. Traveling between realities must be exhausting. This looks strange, but it smells delicious. Meat with honey. And next to the meat, a purple soup, possibly made from a less fortunate cashier. Whether the food is poisoned or not, if I refuse, His Highness might turn me into a frog too. So I pick up a fork from the table. And this is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. It's 100 times better than those cheap instant noodles I usually buy in the supermarkets. Even the fact that I'm currently in some other universe surprisingly doesn't seem to harm my appetite. Seems you enjoy our cuisine. My chefs have always managed to cook well, on those occasions when I noticed it. I assure you, you won't regret this dinner, at least not for the first half hour after the meal. What do you mean? What did I eat? This is the best purple goo in my miserable life as a miserable cashier. Why are you doing all this? The dinner, the teleports, all that. Thank you for the food on my plate not staring back at me. Why are you doing all this? Why? What a delightfully pointless question, even by my standards. I do it because I can. I do it because the alternative is crushing, gray, predictable boredom. Boredom. Brought you here, Soggy, because for the first time in a very long time, you're not boring. Because you fear me less than my subjects do, and you can hold a meaningful, albeit questionable, conversation, unlike my subjects. Believe me, when your interlocutor's mind is as sturdy as a wet paper, all the joy of conversation quickly evaporates. Is this how I die? Maybe it's because you keep turning them into animals? That's exactly what I mean, my dear. What an amazingly insightful observation. You are a thorn in my sinful side. However, it's only a punishment for the most audacious ones, a ruler, both god and monster. But no one ever wants to see the other side. And that's truly a pity. What if it's as good as the first side? Or conversely, terrifying? It would be so exciting to find out. I poke at the food with my fork and watch the peculiar scenery from the corner of my eye. A silence hangs between us that might even be called cozy, were I under heavy narcotics. Okay. What's your favorite animal? I'm guessing toad or frog, sorry. Let me ask. Glad you asked. It's right here on our plate. Just kidding. But I do need some time to think. Let's see. The riding flea has its own charms, very disgusting ones. Carnivorous butterflies are beautiful, but they're dumb and noisy. And as we know, only what's inside makes a noise. Or what's in my head? It's always ringing. I think it's a dog. It loves its owner with all its heart. whether they're a saint or a serial killer, and doesn't notice the difference. It lives in a constant joyful state of blissful ignorance and misplaced enthusiasm. A creature that finds endless joy in the utterly meaningless. It's truly inspiring. Dogs are the jesters of the animal world, and I adore them for it. Especially the small, wrinkly ones. And what about you? Cats. To them, we're probably the jesters. Oh, indeed, they are the true rulers of this reality, tiny, furry gods of apathy and disdain, and we are their obedient, foolish caretakers. But I've been lucky enough to escape their tyranny and instead enjoy my own, and feed those around me. I return to my meal, and just as I chew another bite, I hear His Highness's voice. By the way, how does the meat taste? Is the human flesh tender enough? My fork freezes halfway. Okay, this is fine. Don't worry. No, don't do this. We need our tip. We need our tip. Why the hell is there human flesh on my plate? Not saying that. Swallow with difficulty. Yes, thank you. Quite tender. Or this. Not as tasty as the one I had the day before yesterday. Chew while looking him in the eye. You're the law here. I think we have to be the alpha. I think we have to be the sigma in this situation and say this. I met his gaze, slowly and with all authority, placed a piece of meat in my mouth and began to chew without breaking eye contact. I can't remember ever seeing someone so shocked in my life. His mad grin vanishes, his eyes widen, and his fork freezes halfway to his mouth. For one precious, glorious, sweet moment, the Lord of Chaos is completely and utterly baffled. My dear, you are a true treasure. You didn't just call my bluff, but you raised the stakes to the sky. No, it's certainly not human. It's just venison, as far as I can tell by the taste, not very intelligent. It's definitely not Timmy, our comforter, who had unexpectedly disappeared near the large kitchen cauldron, perfectly sized to fit in it. Definitely not. I personally issued several decrees related to cannibalism, perhaps even concerning its prohibition, but that's beside the point. I rarely have visitors, and I like to tell you about other interesting guests. After all, it's the most fascinating thing I can share with you. For a place where mushrooms with eyes grow, it can be incredibly dull here. Shadows in the clearing thicken and stir. They detach from the gnarled trees, rising up from the ground like black ink and spread across the wall, dancing and intertwining to prepare to perform at their master's whim. Behold, this incredibly crooked castle, my dear. Crooked to the point of absurdity, sadly. In reality, its curves look far more aesthetic. In reality, its curves look far more aesthetic, but give the creator some leeway for expressiveness. Many brave and not so bright souls have tried to conquer this terrifying, dark, eerie, crooked castle, so many that it became even more crooked. You see, the dreadful monster living there never liked being distracted from its important duties. Terribly important duties, like having long, deep conversations with its own reflection or concocting recipes with raisins. That's funny. So far, the scariest thing in this story is the presence of raisins. Yes, you do understand. They are a real horror, aren't they? Tiny, shriveled bits of deception. They pretend to be sweet, but they are just made to ruin. They ruin lovely cookies, ruin family photos. They have no place in civilized society. Oh, how I understand them. The monster was a tyrant, a menace. He sowed chaos and disorder, mostly on purpose. He had countless opportunities for creativity and wasn't afraid to use them. He made some people believe they were pigeons and others that they were grains. He wouldn't allow his best servants to have windows, fearing that the moon and both suns would get envious and want to take them away. And he demanded they seal the gaps in the doors as well. He locked wizards who came to him for magical gifts in a giant laboratory and promised them power if they invented a kettle that could boil everything except water. Who won, the pigeons or the grains? My lovely lady, it wasn't a war, but rather a true paranoid masterpiece, a ballet of survival. For a glorious week, my ballroom was a stage for a feathered cooing apocalypse. Pigeons flocked into huge proud groups, occupying high places on chandeliers and bookshelves. Grains learned to hide under rugs, pretend to be lifeless, and attack only when the pigeon turned away. There were alliances, betrayal, a seed that fell in love with a pigeon. I want to see that movie. I want to see that movie so bad. Why am I in one frame per second? Nothing topped this story that year, nor was anything worse. But I digress. But behold, a ray of light in a dark kingdom. The first hero, Sir Loray, the righteous in all his clanging, self-important glory. He took a knee to rest briefly because the weight of his righteousness was bad. He took a knee to rest briefly because the weight of his righteousness was bad for the health of his poor back. Following rumors spread by the same monster, he fought his way through the monster's loyal subjects too. By the way, where did he even find them? Most of my subjects are too busy contemplating the color of suspenders for their suspenders or eliminating their fate. I cherish them in their imperfection. Hi! Hi! You want up? Come here. Whoa. My cat's here! Zelda! My little baby. This is my princess. I love her. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They're probably the most restless of them. Every story needs minions. In any case, our hero descended into the Grotto of Despair. The Grotto of Tentacles? Imagine the most sinister name you can conjure. Okay. The Grotto of my parents' disappointment in me. The Grotto of Kidney Stones. The Grotto of Despair sounds about... I like this. The Grotto of Kidney Stones. The dreadful, imperfect human body. The worst affliction is having them in your kidneys. What a joy that now I can choose how many I have. I prefer a negative number. Let's not get sidetracked. Into the Grotto of Kidney Stones, our hero descended to retrieve an artifact capable of defeating the Monster King. The Ring of Incredible Power. A bit of shoddily crafted, but I assure you, it looks more aesthetic in real life. However, the brave knight didn't know that the incredible power of the ring lay in its 440 pounds weight. That was its only magical property. The incredible thing about this ring was its incredible stupidity and uselessness. The realization that he spent weeks of his life on a divinely heavy paperweight, and then sudden crushing thought that he should have become a baker instead of a hero just to get some sleep. Well, it broke his poor noble mind. Not that his mind was ever intended for serious burdens. Yes, to hell with you, knight. A bit of gloating, a touch of delightful deserved cynicism. Oh, splendid! How wonderful that we share this dish together. So the knight perished. Okay, he died. But then along came Elmer Eagle Eye. How many characters are in this story? They say he earned his nickname by escaping from an enemy fortress. On the third day of his captivity, he noticed that his prison cell was lacking the fourth wall. An archer of legendary skill who tried to kill me with a precise shot, constantly during breakfast while bathing at balls. Sorry, during sleep, and even while I was devising a plan to get rid of him. The audacity. I just hate killing them. Turning them into madmen is much more fun. And I bestowed a little curse upon the elf as well. I made it so that every time he drew his bowstring, he'd hear the most annoying melody to his ears. Elmer was a terrible racist. He hated dwarves, so naturally the melody became the national anthem of dwarves, played in a loop by a bagpipe orchestra. You know what? Hell yeah, let's go. Screw this guy. Yeah. What do you have? What's wrong with dwarves? Like, dude, what the heck? They're the coolest dudes. Bro has never played fucking Elder Scrolls in his life. The pure rage it provoked derailed his aim every time. Eventually, he stormed the castle, dropped his bow, and begged for a job at my court in exchange for changing the song to anything else. He was desperate, and I was a villain. Everything aligned incredibly well. Now he's my royal huntsman. The dwarf march is replaced with a lively elven sea shanty, and let no one dare accuse me of being callous and heartless. Now he has a salary, good food, clothing, entertainment, and a full guarantee of non-dismemberment. You missed the opportunity to change his dwarf national anthem to dwarf serenades. Soggy, where were you before? Horse O's in comparisons to long stalactites? What? Endless rhymed verses about the shine of a beloved's beard. It's a refined devilish thing. Why didn't I think of it myself? Yeah, torture this dude. To torment a man not with sounds of war and patriotism, but with the clumsy, heartfelt caterwauling of a species he despises, turning a love song into an instrument of pure, heart-wrenching agony. Brilliant. Well, I'll steal your idea for the future. Thank you. And finally, the witch, in a classic giant hat under which you could easily fit another witch. She tried a different approach, seduction. She attempted to charm me, to gain my trust, to become my spouse, a fatal miscalculation. She didn't consider the fact that I never trusted big hats. Or people, especially when both come hand in hand. He doesn't trust people or big hats, and you were both. You had a big hat and you were a person. You can't do that. Those who wear suspenders and a belt at the same time. This is really funny. A person who doesn't even trust their own pants certainly doesn't earn the trust of His Highness. You know what? That's facts right there. Those are bars. I agree with this. Then again, I don't trust His Highness either. I don't trust myself, especially the left side of my brain, especially on Thursdays. But back to hats. Okay, I like this character a lot. I hate big hats too. You're my kindred spirit. Those hats are so pretentious, so self-assured. They block the view, get stuck in doorways, and always hint that the wearer is compensating for something. Exactly. Big hat, small feet. Usually, lack of magical talent, or that. Or a pitiful personality, and that's on a good day. You, my dear Soggy, have impeccable taste in headwear and consequently in everything else. The scientifically proven fact. Meanwhile, the witch was quite overt in her murderous intentions, jingling with all her concealed weapons. Why does the witch need so many hidden blades? She must have been very bad at witchery. In any case, she now resides in my dungeon. And you see, I haven't decided what to do with her yet. Her fate is a blank slate, a story yet to be written, so I offer you the pen. I simply adore random choices. Give me yours, Soggy. What punishment befits her? What? Does he really want me to decide what to do with a real person? Can I even save her? And does it matter what I choose? Everything here follows his whims anyway. But as long as I play the circus monkey, I have a chance to get out of here alive. Maybe I should just entertain him? Damn, what should I do? Okay. Big choice here. Sorry, I'm like I'm always saving. I have a bad habit. I think the craziest thing would be to spare her. No one would expect that. Turn her into a hat, a small one. I think he'd like this. The one who lived by a big hat shall become a small hat. The irony is so absurd, it's beautiful. So be it, let her be a small cap of internal regret. She tried to get into my head and now she can barely cover it. A brilliant sentence. Something's missing from this tale. You never told me about the monster itself. I want to know too. Give me the lore. Give me the juice. Dear, who cares about these monsters anyway? I do. If the monsters are the muck, then I'm the pig, you see. How eloquent. All right. I must admit, this must be my first performance like this. Deer sounds a bit bewildered, it seems. Allow me to just toss my mind up and see how it lands. You see, the monster was originally much more modest and less majestic. But we all have to start somewhere, right? Then my head suddenly became a bit crowded. First whispers, then arguments, then full-fledged discussions that had to be participated in, and involved in inanimate objects. Guests in ajar doors, closets, even in cookie jars. Every container a potential foe. And I was surrounded by containers, to be fair. Sometimes they told funny stories. But why was I afflicted with this curse? Pondering it drives me mad, even more so. Seems the question is meant for me. Does your family have anything in common with the Habsburgs? That's the family with the jaw. That's the family with the jaw. Okay, that's just like saying that's being mean to him, which he'll probably kill me for. Were you cursed for arrogance, greed? Did you touch the cursed artifact? Maybe some ring of yours? Dear, I'm afraid you've confused cause and effect. It's I who drive rings mad, not the other way around. Any poor innocent artifact I happen to touch might start screaming uncontrollably or start trying to ask those around it about the meaning of their lives. No, I'm afraid it's a bit more banal. It's all about rotten blood. Too pure, I beg your pardon. My great-grandfather issued a decree forbidding death from old age, and a distant aunt believed a colony of sentient mold was living in her walls, claiming her inheritance. But I always thought I would be spared this fate. I had to be temporarily isolated to avoid embarrassing guests at royal balls, with the young prince pointing at noble lords and saying, "Ha, the gnomes finally got out from under my bed." What a misfortune for the entire family, except for those in line for the throne before me. My death would have solved many problems for my family, and indeed many of my own problems too. I made a decision. We made it, to be precise. There was already a whole council of us by then. However, chaos out of their plans, a god, a goddess, a cosmic clerical error. I don't know, something ancient and terribly bored found itself a new source of entertainment. It offered me a throne, my own corner of reality to rule, where the fragments of my own mind would become the laws of the land. No more restrictions or pants for my subjects if I wished. My subjects, at first, they disagreed, but then they came to terms, or their minds changed to fit the new realities. And here I am. A dramatic silence ensues. Perhaps I am the first being to hear the story in the centuries of his existence. I must choose my next words carefully. Oh, okay. Careful moment. Will you give me a tip? We can't say that outright. We have to be cool with it. I really sympathize with you and all your multiple personalities. That's mean. So you're still in a cage? Must be rather lonely here. Shake your head. How can you just lock a family member in a tower? It's unthinkable. Thanks for the story. Maybe this? Maybe sympathize with him? No cages. More like a playground with surprisingly silent infants. But I don't blame them. I have the best shovel. It's no wonder I embarrass them so much. Maybe it's because I love to create explosions. Tell me, have you ever been exploded? Or no, don't tell me. Let it be a surprise. Do you really sympathize with someone who drags you into his dimension to tell you silly stories and feed you purple goo? People never cease to amaze me. Ooh, touch his hand. Feeling a strange impulse, I reach out to his hand resting on the table. His gaze slowly follows my movement, lowering to our hands. This time, no commentary. Instead, his thumb begins to trace patterns on the back of my hand with surprising tenderness. The shadows finally dissolved into nothingness. I just turned a living being into a hat, or rather, became the catalyst for it. I wonder what kind of nightmares are warranted in such a case. I'm afraid royal duties await me. Our time is up. I shall send you back, Soggy. I rise from the chair, and I feel him press against my back. One of his hands grips me just above the crook of my elbow, while the other gently rests under my chin, tilting my head back until my ear is a couple of centimeters from his lips. But don't think for a second that this is goodbye. It's merely an overture. His voice, usually so mocking and calm, now sounds eerily sinister. A cold thumb lightly strokes the line of my jaw. I try to suppress a shiver. You are a very interesting, incredibly curious guest. You were a very interesting, incredibly curious guest, possibly the most curious one I've had in centuries. And I found that I don't want our acquaintances to end here. It's terribly unfair that you've learned a couple of my secrets and revealed so few of yours, isn't it? I can't tell whether he's flirting or threatening, both perhaps? A bird trapped in a cage of bills, failures, and endless anxiety. How high could you fly once the cage is opened? Your shift will end, the sun will rise, and you'll want to head home, perhaps on something more elegant than a bus, maybe in a carriage of polished bones. We will meet again, Soggy, very, very soon, and next time, I won't let you go so quickly. I squeeze my eyes shut. The light is blinding even when my eyes closed. So unusual after all this darkness. The jar is full of money. It was all worth it. Greetings, organism. How is your work progressing? I see the first transaction was successful. Acceptable. This still doesn't save you from the threat of cleaning sanitary facilities, but it's a wonderful starting point for your entire tiny life. Even more than successful, the client tried to fill the entire station with money, probably due to extreme affection for you, organism. Unfortunately, the terms of the Intergalactic Treaty do not allow such actions. Tips exceeding the amount set by the Council is approximately what % were disintegrated. To my great regret. Thanks. To my great regret as well. So, a mad god from another world likes me. In some sense, that's possibly worse than not being liked at all. Okay. The very first client sent me to another dimension and nearly turned me into a cash register. Work is going well, sir. Can I quit? I'm just gonna say this so you don't kill me. Excellent. Maintain this level of productivity. You may be rewarded with an additional 5-minute feeding break if you can find food. Rejoice in my generosity. Continue working. I am experiencing a positive emotional reaction. I am proud of you and I will be even more prouder if you acquire even more currency. Your tactic of adjusting carefree organism is clearly paying off. Goodbye, Mr. Manager. Your tentacles shine particularly beautiful at this time of day. Can I say that? Or is he gonna take that as like a... Oh, okay. Your comment regarding the shine of my appendages is noted, organism. The secret is a meticulous regime of polishing them with void bib okay slime. Goodbye. Bye, Bob. He slaps across the floor to his office. As soon as Bob's rhythmic wet slaps fade away, a deep silence descends upon the station. One moment, I'm in a surreal forest, dining on purple goo with a mad god. A god who liked me so much that he offered me a ride back to his world in a carriage made of bones. The next moment, I'm being praised by a multi-eyed, tentacled monster. Maybe these are just my deathbed hallucinations. I'm going insane, so parts of me enjoys these mad adventures. God, give me back my bills, my noodles, my arguments with strangers on the internet. We're okay. We can't lose our mind yet, because that's how we lose the game and possibly die very early. I am an adrenaline junkie. Disgusting. Now I have to deal with that too. In the midst of my contemplation, terrifying sounds emanate from my boss's office. Unfair bills, unacceptably large numbers. Of course, what else could upset him so much if not that? Steps. Another visitor. This one decided to come in through the door for a change. Okay, I'm gonna save here. So we'll stop here for today and we'll come back and see the next monster date. Okay, bye.